So episode 7 of Swiss Echoes, this time around with the manager of Arizen, CheJery. Arizen, an up-and-coming Swiss esports org, they are already very professional. They had a great 2019 where they placed second in the second division of the second season of the Swisscom Hero League in League of Legends, and they therefore qualified for the third season. In the SCSL, they would be in the first division of League of Legends if it wouldn't have been cancelled. Thank you for being here, Jerry. So could you
Yeah,
give us
thank you for having me.
with pleasure. Can you give us a quick summary of 2019 for Horizon?
Yes, I think we started with our main and academy league team into 2019. That was after our first SESL split. So that was second division. I think we had 2 splits in second division in 2019 with our main team. The first one where we barely missed playoffs due to some unfortunate events. And in the second one where we placed third, I think. Third or fourth, and went into playoffs or into qualification tournament because there were no more playoffs with the new and managed to qualify there to the first division before, as you said, the SESL got cancelled. Outside of that, our academy team split into multiple teams. We had 4 League of Legends teams at the end of 2019. While one of them the academy team, the initial one, nearly qualified through the open division to the next higher division, but yeah, got cancelled. And we then entered the Prime League after 2019, but yeah, that's 2020. From the Hero League, that was I think through the second SESL split we had in 2019, the Hero League started, or the second season of the Hero League started, where our team qualified for the second via promotion tournament. I think same as yours did initially.
Yes.
And placed into the second division there, where we had quite a good split. Placed second in playoffs and should have qualified for some kind of relegation match. But as things changed, we were just seeded into this Season 3 tournament that's happening right now.
So Horizon was founded in 2018, but for me, you appeared out of nowhere. I didn't know what you did in 2018. Where were you then, back then?
Before we officially founded Arizen, we were just like a group of friends that played in tournaments, like on LAN tournaments mostly. I've been in the scene a bit longer, but just mostly in like for fun teams, where I played at like Switzerland tournament and events and stuff like that. Never really in online leagues. And then with this group of friends that also had some sort of like fun esports background, we decided to create this org, Arizen, as it was going to be then, just before 2018 Switzerland, which was like the last tournament I actually played as a player, as a support back then, where we, I think, finished top 8, but got kicked out by the, I don't know, I think it was like silent members, future silent members that kicked us out in the quarterfinals. Yeah, but after that we founded Arizen for the upcoming SESL split with like just that one league team, but we always knew we're not focusing on like one team and having one top team and improving that team, but founding building an org that is able to compete in different titles, different leagues, and not only on like a competitive gameplay aspect, but the org itself to make things a bit more professional was the idea then, and I hope we're achieving that at the moment.
You had a great 2019, so especially because of the Swisscom Hero League. So when the Swisscom Hero League got announced, was it your top priority to qualify, to grow the brand of Horizon, to get the name out there, or Arisen, like
I
you said?
think we knew about the Hero League from season 1, like Hero League, where we didn't compete. We knew about it as we played our first SESL split, and we weren't always all that happy with how things went in the SESL. So
Oh, it
We
cut
were
off.
like
Can you repeat
Capcom
that?
League
It cut off.
and
Jerry,
where? Yeah.
uh, can you start just again at the whole answer? Like literally cut off.
Okay. No, so at the start of the first season of the Swisscom Hero League, we weren't participating actively, but we were already playing in the SESL, as mentioned. So we knew about the league, and we weren't always quite happy with how things went in the SESL.
Mhm.
So we knew that's like a second thing to look at, some competition for the league. And then we participated in those weekly tournaments. I think we only participated in 3 tournaments, and quickly saw that like that's already enough points to qualify. So don't really need to play another Saturday of league for that. Could focus on like scrims or SESL. Yes, and then we entered this 16 teams tournament, I think, where pretty much every team that participated qualified for the second division. Yeah, that was the start of our Hero League Split 2 journey.
And were you satisfied with the result of the second season or your first season?
Yeah, I think we can only be happy. I mean, sure, we would have loved to win the playoffs back there. I think we lost 1-2 to Noetic in the second division, who was like seen as one of the heavy favorites for Division 2 because they played First Division S for like few splits straight. And we lost due to some unfortunate Baron steals in one game, which was kind of upsetting back then, but didn't really matter in hindsight with how the tournament evolved for season 3. So can't be upset about that.
But even though you were satisfied with the split, you still you still changed two players. Why that?
Sorry, the question was
It cut off
bad
again.
connection. Yes.
Unlucky. But so you weren't. You said you were satisfied with the second season, but you
Mhm.
still swapped two players. Why that then? If you were so satisfied.
um, we swapped out. Who did we swap from that
So
season? I think we swapped ADC to top lane and got a new bot lane, right?
so you got Sefi and you got Quadra.
That was after the hero. Oh yeah, right. Yes. So there was more that our support and top laner at the time, they weren't really motivated to keep on playing. So it was not us deciding to ditch them or anything like that. The support, Dorsk, actually manager for one of our other teams now, and top laner was not motivated to keep playing League. So we knew we had to get some replacement at that point. And Quadra already contacted us through the season that he's looking for a new team because it's not because he won't be on Silent next split, and he knew he was friends with some of our members back then, so he was quickly to join us back then, and we knew we were searching for a support, and we found one just like last minute because the Prime League started and SESL was cancelled all in like a week. So we had to find a new player in a week to compete. And we had some tryouts with support. We played with Sefi, who was on Silent as well with Quadra and friends with the same guys. So we had some innate synergy from that. And yeah, we're hoping to achieve even more than in the previous season.
But I think it's insane that you just got two players from the finals. So did their experience from the finals help you, even though now in the end it didn't work out in season three?
I think it definitely helped in the beginning. Like we could see a huge difference between like the communication and the game knowledge of the last split and then our first few games with our full lineup. And we could see like what we could be able to reach with a team like that. Like you said, unfortunately, the last few games didn't end as we wanted them to end, but I think we can still have a positive outlook from what we've learned.
So just like in the SESL, if the Swisscom Hero League would have been still a league and not this bracket format,
Mm-hmm.
the round robin format, you would be in the first division like you are now. But What do you think of the new format, of the bracket format, instead of the round robin?
I mean, they were kind of forced to go with this bracket, I think. They initially wanted to do a normal season, if I'm not wrong, and Riot like denied higher prize pools and denied league formats that are longer than like 3 weeks or something like that. And I think the format itself is fine, like with the 8 teams that could qualify through open qualifiers and stuff like that. It's just not as hype as a league was, because especially with SESL being gone, it's really hard to like get the standing in the Swiss scene to see which teams are on what competitive level. And you can see that even some of the better teams in this split, this Hero League tournament, are mostly for fun teams. Like the Mind Sanity team is some of the best players on our scene, but they're just playing together for this tournament. Or also Lausanne with like members in different roles. They're just playing together, so they're playing in this tournament because they needed to have the players for the tournament. And I think that's the problem. It's just like another tournament and not the league anymore,
Mhm.
which kind of hurts it a bit, but it's still a fun tournament to participate in, some good money to win for the teams. So I don't mind it.
I think.
I think
Huh?
they made the best out of what Riot gave them.
So what's also sad, I think, is that there's no second division, so there won't be
Mhm.
stories like Arizen, which qualified to the second division, qualified for the first division. So do you think this will have a big bad impact on the Swiss scene?
I think they're more the really small friendship teams aren't going to be competing a lot anymore in like online leagues. It's like similar as to before the SESL or whatever it was called before that existed. There were like some international online weekly leagues and stuff like that, and barely any Swiss teams competed there. And with Prime League existing now, I think the more serious teams still have a good or even better opportunity to like make a name for themselves and climb and improve. But it's less for fun possibilities, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. So you played against Silent in the third season, and like I already mentioned, it didn't work out very well. So coming into the series, what were your expectations? Because you placed higher than them in the second division in the second season. So what were your expectations? Did you think, oh wow, we are gonna beat them, GGZ, or?
I think we have good history with Silent, like the Silent Academy team that's now playing as the main team. We've faced them in pretty much every SESL split. We faced them in some of the Hero League tournaments, and as you said, the season 2 of Hero League. So we had some good experience versus them. Before swapping our roster, we already lost the series to them in the SESL promotion to the first division, where we had to go to the third game, where we actually faced the exact same roster that we did now. So I think at least I knew that they are not a weak team. I knew that we can lose to them, and we just had some. I mean, they are a strong team, so they went to semifinals now, as you can see in the Hero League. But we also had some internal struggles that made our teammates not function together as well as it should have been. So sure, we're not happy with how the Hero League season ended now, but it's like nothing to be sad about or upset about. We just carry on. We're going to face Silent again in another split in another league, and hopefully get the better of them next time.
But the expectations for the third season, did you think, wow, maybe we could even win or make semifinals? What was the expectation for you?
I think looking at the bracket back then, we were to face Mind Sanity in the semifinals if we
Mhm.
win 2 series. So before the tournament, we knew that like semifinals is a chance, and it would be like top 4 placement, earn some money, finish the split on a high note. So that's for sure what we were aiming at. We knew that like the other side of the uh, round of 16 with Frackbox advancing. We knew that we could possibly beat them if we beat Silent, so sure we were looking for more, but yeah, didn't work as intended.
So in Switzerland, it's normal for Swiss esports teams to swap players all the time. Like not even
Mhm.
Postfinos Helix lasted for more than 6 months. So I don't know what you can say yet, but do you plan on do you plan on keeping this roster? Like it seemed like it has potential. It has some players which went to the final
Mhm.
and other good players. What do you think?
Um, I mean, we're always, I at least am always a fan of keeping rosters together through a longer time, which sounds kind of stupid as we've changed players nearly every split. But I think it's coming down to like the core problem with a lot of Swiss esports players or even teams, that there's like a lack of motivation to either play the game or improve or take things seriously, just playing for fun or just showing up barely for like scrims and uh, league. And that's not what we're as a team, at least our main team, are looking for. So if members don't want to play, if they just play to be playing somewhere, that's not what we're really looking for. So we're looking for like hungry and motivated players at all times. And I think with our like internal struggles that we had, we knew we had to make some changes for the upcoming split for our main team. So that's what we're going to be doing. We don't have like any announced changes yet. We'll have in the next few days or weeks when everything gets sorted out. But for our other league teams, we're keeping together one team on the full stack of 5. For another team, we're swapping one player who's like substitute from now on, who's had like some motivational struggles, and we're keeping, if everything goes well, 4 out of 5 of the players on our 4th team as well. So looking to keep most things together, just changing things as needed.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that you have this winner mentality as a team. And now that you will, like you said, you will most likely change a player, then you have multiple teams. And I wanted to ask, why do you have multiple teams? Will you use them just for the publicity so you can say, yeah, we have this team in the first, second,
Mhm.
third division? Or will you use it as a talent factory, even?
I think when we decided to get a second team, like a year ago, we just knew that it would be like a smart move to grow the organization, because we always had a big focus on community and not only competition. And we knew we need to bring in more people to help Arizen like grow and be a thing. And when this team worked out in like results, but some of the players didn't necessarily like playing with each other back then, we decided that we're happy with all the players individually, but we don't want to force them to play together if they don't like playing or spending time together. So we had like the decision to make if we want to keep some of the players or if we want to make multiple teams. And we kind of came down on splitting the team up, finding new members, which was, as I said, more about like growing the org, growing the community around the Risen, having more people to interact with. And sure, we have some of our players in the not main teams are nearly as good or as good as the players in our main team. So we can't just say they're a lesser team. We like respect them all on the same level, even if some of them perform maybe on a lower level, as especially our team last split was. But we're always looking to like it's like the first thing to look at when we need a new member is like, do we already have like a player on that role that we could use for our other team, be that the main team or any of the other 4 teams, and we can adapt from there. Yeah, so I think it helps with like roster changes. It also helps with like finding substitutes for scrims or for like just playing together. If there's always someone missing, it's like my experience. If you only have 5 players, there's always someone missing. You like need to search for substitutes every week, and having like a pool of 20 players or more to choose from helps a lot with like management struggles.
So do you think if let's imagine I'm a young Swiss player that wants to improve to get in the
Mhm.
first league, do you think it would be a good idea for me to join a lower Arizen team and then do I get the opportunity to maybe someday play in the best Arizen team? So it'd be a good start
Uh,
there, a good
I mean,
talent factory.
obviously, I'm happy for everyone wanting to join our teams. They are not like low elo at the moment. Like we have 4 competitive teams, and so it's kind of hard to just join because we're not looking to just like have 100 teams spread
Mhm.
around every elo because we're not able to manage that from a like management standpoint. We want to be able to like tend to our players and stuff like that. But for sure, if a player is in our, like as you put it, lower teams, in our other teams, and we can see that they are improving and getting better and motivated, and they are motivated to even like leave that team and play in a higher league or in a higher division, uh, if the chances are there, for sure we can give them that chance. It's like we're not going to say no, you belong in that other team. You can't join our main team now, even if you're lacking a position there. But I think a lot of it is based on like relations. A lot of players want to, if they find a team that works together. So it's also kind of hard for a new player to even get into the scene because you kind of need to know those other 4 players already, form a team. So yeah, sure, there's a path, but first you need to like get started on that path, and you need to show that you're good enough and motivated enough to like focus on yourself and not for only focus on the team.
O-
Yes, then for sure there's a way.
Okay. So at the start of the interview, you once said that you wanted, so when you founded Arisen, you wanted
Mhm.
to make a big team and even expand to other games. And now I wanted to ask you, do you plan on maybe expanding even this year, maybe to CSGO? Because CSGO is the favorite
Mhm.
game of ESL with the biggest prize pool. Like you have a CS team in the lowest SCSL division, but
Mhm.
only one tweet about it, so you don't really have it, I think. Do you plan to expand?
So things with expanding to like serious teams is the problem is you always need a at least one guy managing that team.
Mhm,
We don't want to just have 5 players playing. You really you can't just go to 5 players and tell them play for us. We don't really offer you a lot of like money or incentive otherwise, and we're not going to manage your stuff. But please play for us. That's not going to like do anything. So what we're doing with most other titles is like approaching them on a community team based approach where we if we know the players, they don't have to be like on the highest level and they're motivated to play together under our banner, then we're very happy to have them compete like our CSGO team in the SESL. But we're not able to like manage them constantly because we had a manager for our CSGO team, but he is currently in the military. Uh, yes, so it's kind of hard to like get them to a competitive point from just for time reasons. And we've got other teams which are not yet announced or other projects which we're going for. And I think it's always the approach of like first getting a team to want to play for us, to want to play together, and then maybe in the long run being able to make them competitive on the highest level, being able to give them the resources they deserve, pretty much like we did with our main team. Because at the start we were just 5 players, then we were 5 players and the manager, and we built a structure around that. I think that's the approach we're going for with all other games as well.
So if you get the opportunity and you maybe search for a manager, you find one,
Mhm.
and you find a nice 5 guys which are very good at CS:GO, for example, you will try to get them. Is that
Yeah,
something
but that's
we can say?
obviously like a dream
Yeah,
scenario.
of course,
So
but
yeah, we're always looking into different games, like especially CS:GO. We already have that squad as you mentioned, so it's not like we would say no, we don't want that. It's just it's something really hard to get as long as you don't have like anything to lure players into your org. So yeah, that's why we're going for that like community approach first.
okay. So You already mentioned that you want to get good teams and be a good org, and you have this kind of winner mentality, and I loved your answers. But I will once again ask you, will Arizen try to become the best Swiss org, the biggest, best Swiss org, or will you just try to enjoy it while it lasts? Are your goals rather high or just, yeah, let's let's enjoy it? What would you say?
Our goals are for sure high, for sure to grow, for sure to be recognizable at least in the Swiss scene, if not like in Germany, Austria, Switzerland scene where we're playing with our league team now. So yeah, we're always working towards that. We're just going at it with some patience. Like I think a lot of overly motivated org owners want to like explode into the scene, burst in there, be the best team immediately, and that's just not something we think is like realistic because we've now existed for like 1.5 years already, and we're not at the top. We're not at the top yet, but we're building onto that. We're going towards that number one spot someday.
So we can expect a lot of Arizen this year.
Yeah, we're going to stay and grow
So
into different avenues and in league as well.
and Arizen will be a team that's not like the other teams which sometimes don't practice, aren't very eager to win just for fun. Arizen will be a team that will change the scene, you could say, to something more competitive, more serious.
I think we're always taking things seriously. For sure, there has to be fun, but we have some rule sets laid out internally. We know the players know those rules. The players know how to act inside of Arisen. Yeah, and we're pushing our mentality all through our community. So yeah, we want to achieve something. Obviously, some teams like those more community type teams, like our CSGO team, we're not like pushing them to scrim every week on those certain days and stuff like that. But if you're in a like managed team with a schedule, then you better play on that schedule. You better train. You better be active. That's what we're looking for. So
Yeah, I love to hear that. I really loved your answers. Now I still have two questions to you, Cherry.
mhm,
So your job as a manager. I don't know what a manager does, and
mhm.
especially not in Switzerland. So could you quickly say the most, how can you say, most interesting things about being a manager?
Most interesting things.
I think
So
that would be cool.
I mean, it sounds a bit negative, but I'm like the guy for everything
Hmm.
that's not done by other people. So like I'm doing social media, I'm talking to new players, I'm looking for new teams. Uh, I'm I'm not building a website my own, but I'm looking that the website is built.
You're doing
I'm
interviews.
like yeah, doing interviews. I'm there to organize and either do everything or make sure that something's done. Yeah, so we can reach those goals that we talked about. And outside of being a manager, I'm also like taking in the role of like head coach for our main team and for one of our other teams when time allows. That's mostly based on like not having more people working in the org because it's already hard to get like a player to join your team if you don't offer them money or offer them anything else. It's even harder to like get people to work for free. So
Mhm.
obviously not that easy to get more people into working for your org if you can't offer them money or like results yet. So that's why I'm like managing. Being a general manager means like to do everything that's not done otherwise.
So one last question, really. So I heard you post Swiss results on Twitter. So if I would follow you on Twitter, would I be always up to date?
Depends a bit on the workload I'm doing. So I've posted results for the first few weeks of Prime League until I saw that some other people are spending their time on doing the same thing. So I like focused on the team itself more a bit. But I'm always up to date with the league itself. So I'm not always tweeting about everything I see because no one wants to read everything that I think. But if important things happen, I will be there. I will be active on Twitter, and I will probably post about it.
Okay, great. So once again, I want to say I think Arizen is a great org with great goals. Thank you to you and all the Arizen players which supported me a lot. So do you have anything to say at the end?
Um, Not really. Like, just watch out for what we're going to bring to the table next split. Watch out for our other teams, maybe that will be fielding in other sports or other games. And I hope you'll hear from us for a long time to come. And keep on doing what you're doing. I think it's important to have some media, some entertainment inside our scene, because a lot of people just abandon doing that a long time ago. So I'm happy to still have some people going for that.
Okay, thank you very much. So to the viewers at home, follow CheJery or just Jerry on Twitter. His name is under his webcam. No, there. Um, and also follow Horizon and support them as much as you can. If you want to watch more great Swiss esports content, then you can subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Twitter, or just both would be the best. So thank you everyone for watching, and until next time.